audio that you're saying.
So remember, Ian said he used that to mute it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now they can hear.
Okay, there we go. All right, so let me start over.
There's a delay.
There's a lag. Okay, so bottom line is, what this little segment is, I'm going to explain how we're going to actually physically play the game here through YouTube. The board's already set up with all the starting conditions, which I'll run everybody through. Right now, to my knowledge, we've got 2 players. I'll be playing the other players on the board. I've got Nick and Romance as player 1. I've got Alana and Jocelyn as player 2, and then I'll play player 3 and player 4. What I'm going to go through during the setup is I'm going to explain what cards everybody has. You're going to need to write those down so you can keep track of the cards that you have and the cards that you use, since I'm not able to show those here on the game table. And then we will take your moves each turn when your particular character card comes up. Player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. When it comes up, we will take your moves through the YouTube chat. So let's go ahead and switch over to the pandemic board right now, and let me explain the current setup situation. All right, so those of you that have played pandemic before, you know that during this setup, the first 3 cards locations that get pulled get 3 cubes of the appropriate color. So the three cities that got the 3 cubes are Montreal, Bangkok, and then San Francisco. So those are the the cities that start with 3 cubes. And then you do the 2 cubes. We've got Buenos Aires with 2 cubes. We've got Essen with 2 cubes. And we've got Jakarta with 2 cubes. And then finally, the last 3 cities have the single cube. So you've got Moscow, you've got Osaka, and you've got Los Angeles. So that is the starting board situation. You can see we've got the 4 players here starting in the city of Atlanta. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to player 1. Player 1 again is Nick and Romance, and you guys are going to be playing as the researcher. Let me just read for everybody's understanding what the researcher capabilities are. The researcher, you may give any one of your city cards when you share knowledge. It need not match the city that you're in. A player who shares knowledge with you on their turn can take any one of your cards. So, Nick and Romance, that is going to be your character for the game. You are starting the game with Miami and San Francisco. Those are the 2 cards that you are starting with. Player 2, that's Alana and Jocelyn. You are going to be the operations specialist, or the operations expert. The operations expert has 2 abilities. As an action, build a research station in the city that you are in. No city card needed. And then once per turn, as an action, move from a research station to any city by discarding any city card. So that is the green player, the operations expert. Player 2 is starting with 2 cards in their hand. Manila, which is a red card, and Seoul, which is a red card. So moving on to player 3. Player 3 is going to be the white pawn, which is the scientist. The scientist's ability is that you only need 4 cards of the same color to discover a cure action. The scientist is going to be starting the game with 2 cards. A yellow card for Bogota and a black for Riyadh. The fourth player is going to be the medic. That's the orange pawn. The medic's capability: remove all cubes of one color when doing the treat disease action. Automatically remove cubes as cured diseases from the city that you are in and prevent them from being placed there. So that is the medic's ability, which is the orange pawn. The fourth player will be starting with a blue card, Madrid, and a red card, Bangkok. All right. So with that as being the setup, what we're going to do now is we're going to get right into the gameplay. And we're going to switch over to player 1. So for those of you that are familiar with Pandemic, each player gets to do 4 actions. Typically there are 4 types of move actions. And then there's the build research station action, the treat disease action, the share knowledge action, and discover a cure action. So for right now, we're going to be going to Nick and Romance as player 1. As the researcher, what actions would you like to take for your moves? We got a little bit of lag going on, so we may need a little bit of a filler music or something going on while you look at my handsome face. We're going to power through this.
One way or another.
Did you already read what color cards do we have?
So who's making that post? Because I did go through the color cards.
Romance is asking.
So the researcher, which is Nick and Romance, you've got a blue San Francisco card and a yellow Miami card.
Alana just wanted to let you know that they will be chatting through Discord.
Okay.
Give yellow Miami to player 3 scientist.
All right, so the move is from the researcher is to give the yellow Miami card to the player 3, which is the scientist. That will give the scientist 2 yellow cards and a black card. So that was your first action for player 1.
Three more actions.
So we got 3 more action. We're waiting on 3 more actions from player 1, the researcher. John, are you monitoring YouTube?
Yeah. You're just doing Discord, me.
No, we're not doing Discord. We're doing.
Well, he said.
I'm monitoring it too.
Okay.
I have YouTube and Discord here
Okay.
as well as the thing. OBS.
Move to Chicago.
Okay, so we've got the researcher is going to be moving to Chicago for their second action,
Move to Montreal.
and then to Montreal for the third action.
Treat one blue.
Treat 1 blue. Got it. Thank you very much. All right, so the next step after the player does their 4 actions is to draw 2 cards. So the 2 cards that the researcher is adding is a black card Cairo and a red card Sydney. There were no epidemics. They don't have 7 cards, so we're not discarding anything. So now we're going to go to infect cities. So the first infect cities card that we turn over is Beijing. So we're putting 1 red cube into Beijing. And then the next infect cities card is New York City. So we're putting 1 blue cube into New York City. All right, so that ends the researcher's turn. We're now moving to player 2. Alana and Jocelyn are team partnering there at player 2. So what would you like to do for the operations expert? And they're posting through Discord, right?
Yeah.
And if you guys as players and or listeners want to chat amongst yourself on the Discord voice channel, that's fine. We're just not able to pipe that in for everybody to listen to through YouTube.
Ian says it looks good.
Right.
Montreal.
Okay, so operations expert is moving to Montreal. So that's 1 action to go to Washington, 2nd action to go to Montreal.
Discard Manila to move there.
Oh, discard Manila
I'm sorry.
to move there. Okay, so they're discarding the Manila card to just move straight to Montreal. So that's 1 action using their special ability. Oh, that's not a special ability that they have.
I think they want to go to Manila.
Oh, they want to go to Manila. Sorry. So they're discarding the Manila card to fly to Manila.
Okay, so that's one action.
That's one action. It's a good action, by the way. Take care of the reds. What's the next action?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
She said, they said, get me to the 3 cube area.
All right, so that's Bangkok. That's a good way to do it. I know it's not easy to read. So that's, you've done one action, 2, 3, and then I assume you want to treat disease there.
Wait.
Wait, okay.
Not going to Seoul. Discarding Seoul to go to Ho Chi Minh.
Oh, okay. So going to, I don't understand.
They can discard a city to go to any city.
The operations expert, as an action, can build a research station in the city that you are in. No city needed. And then once per turn, as an action, move from a research station to any city. So they're discarding Seoul while they're at the research station here to move to
Ho Chi Minh.
Ho Chi Minh. Got it. That's one action.
All right.
Ryo says, so Luana action is actually discard Leah to move to Bangkok, treat it, move to Ho
Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah, build, research.
Okay, so they're treating, then they're moving to Ho Chi Minh, and they're discarding Manila, or they don't need to discard. They're just building a research station in Ho Chi Minh. I'll make sure I got that right. One action.
Now build a research station in Ho Chi Minh.
One action to fly to Bangkok by discarding a card, treating one disease.
They didn't tell me to treat.
Oh, there's no treat. Okay. So Lon, if you could repost your move, because we're a little confused. So you discarded a card, flew from research station to where?
Discarding Seoul to go to Ho Chi Minh.
Ho Chi Minh. Okay, fly to Ho Chi Minh.
Now build a research station in Ho Chi Minh.
Building a research station in Ho Chi Minh. No city card needed. That's two actions.
Go to Bangkok and treat one disease.
Go to Bangkok and treat one disease. There's your four actions.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you. Sorry for the confusion. All right, player 3. Switching to the scientist. Player 3 has 2 yellow cards, Miami and Bogota, and 1 black card of Riyadh. So I think what we're going to do with the research, with the scientist rather, is we're going to head over to San Francisco. 1, 2 moves, and clear. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I forgot to finish Alana's move. We need to give her some cards. So player 2, you're getting Resilient Population as a card. Resilient Population is remove any one card in the infection discard pile from the game. You may play this between the infect and intensify steps of an epidemic. And the other card you're getting is Buenos Aires, which is a yellow card. And now we go to infect cities. We have Delhi is getting 1 black cube. Lagos is getting 1 yellow cube. Now, the scientist can take her actions. So the scientist is moving 1, 2, and treating 2 blue diseases. And then is getting a black card of Mumbai. So right now the scientist has 2 yellow and 2 black cards. And another black card, Karachi. And then we go to the infect cities step. Taipei is getting a red, 1 red cube. And Sao Paulo is getting a yellow cube. All right. Moving on to player 4, which is the medic. The medic currently has 1 blue and 1 red card. Medic is going to move 1 action, 2 action, and cure both of these for 3 actions, and then 4th action will move to New York City. 2 cards for the medic are Khartoum, which is a yellow card, and Lagos, which is a yellow card. And then we go to the Infect Cities deck for the medic's turn. Chicago is getting a blue. And Riyadh is getting a black. All right. So real quick, let me review now that everybody's had 1 turn. So the researcher, right now you've got 3 cards. You have a red Sydney, you have a blue San Francisco, and you have a black Cairo. Player 2, the operations expert, you have an event card, Resilient Population. You have a red Manila card and a yellow Buenos Aires card. Player 3, the scientist, has 2 yellows, Bogota and Miami, and 3 blacks, Riyadh, Mumbai, and Karachi. She only needs 1 more black to be able to have enough cards to find the black cure. The medic has 1 blue, Madrid, 1 red, Bangkok, and 2 yellow, Khartoum and Lagos. So we're going to now be moving to player 1 for player 1's second turn.
Someone asked, can we have everyone's hand on screen? Not this time.
Not at this time. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm asking the players to kind of try and keep track of what they have, and then I'm going to review at the end of each turn what everybody has.
It could be possible if you scoot down the board a little bit and actually put it
not
on top.
Not right now. So we're waiting on player 1's turns.
Alana has got themselves a notepad.
All right.
All right, move to San Francisco.
This is researcher.
Yes, researcher, move to San Francisco.
All right, so 1, 2 actions to move to San Francisco, unless they're discarding a card.
Give scientist black. So the scientist has
Yep.
4.
Okay. Good move. You still have 1 more action.
Treat.
All right. And we'll treat the blue disease, clearing San Francisco. All right. Player 1's draw. You've got a yellow card, Kinshasa. And we've pulled the first epidemic card. So we'll switch over to the epidemic screen and I'll walk us through the first epidemic. So the first thing we do is we increase the infection rate. We infect where the epidemic occurs, which is occurring in Atlanta. Oh, great. So Atlanta gets 3 cubes. And then we intensify by shuffling the discard pile. There we go. And now we do the infect cities. San Francisco gets a cube. And New York City gets a cube. All right, so that wraps up player 1's turn. Good move, by the way. We've now got, the scientist has got 4 black cards, which she'll be able to scoot over to Atlanta here and find a cure for the black disease. Now we're moving on to player 2, operations expert with Alana and Jocelyn. What do we have for moves from you guys?
They wanted to, because of the lag, they wanted to wait to see what the epidemic was going to do before.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
we're going to give them a minute to see. Are there 2 there right now? 2 people to treat?
I don't understand the question.
Uh,
There are 2 cubes on Bangkok, if that's what you're asking. Yes.
discard BA to go to Bogota.
All right, so discarding Buenos Aires.
Oh, wait, back
Yeah,
up, I'm being
As-
told.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's a fair, I don't think we can do that. Unless they go to the research station first.
Fly to Ho Chi Minh.
All right, so they move to Ho Chi Minh for 1. Now probably want to discard the Buenos Aires card.
discard BA to go to BA.
Okay. So they're discarding the Buenos Aires card using their special ability to fly anywhere from a research station down here to Buenos Aires, where there are 2 yellow cubes.
Cure 2 in Buenos Aires.
All right, so they're curing the 2 cubes from Buenos Aires. That ends the Operation Expert's move. Now we're drawing 2 cards. We've got 1 Washington, blue card, and we've
Wait.
got, uh-oh.
Cure 1, build a research center in Bogota.
Oh, okay, so they're backing up. They're going to cure 1. What card are they discarding? Oh, there's no card needed. Never mind. Building a research station there. Okay. Their final card is Baghdad, which is a black card. So let's review the Operation Experts cards. They have event card, resilient population.
You're too high.
Oh. They have Manila, a red card, a blue card, Washington, and a black card, Baghdad. That ends the Operation Expert's turn. Oh, now we got to infect cities. Sorry about that. So Delhi is getting a black. Why am I not seeing Delhi? Why can't I see Delhi?
You already have something on Delhi, don't you?
Yeah, oh, sorry. And I've got Lagos is getting another one. All right, so that's the 2 infect cities. All right. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Player 3. We want player 3, the scientist, to go find the black cure, I think. So she is going to take 1 action to move to Chicago, another action to move down to Atlanta. She's going to turn in the 4 cards per her special ability to find the black cure, which we now have. And she's got 1 more action. She's going to cure 1 there in Atlanta. Her 2 cards, she's pulling a red Shanghai card, and she's pulling a blue Essen card. So right now the scientist has 4 cards, 2 yellows, a red, and a blue. All right, moving on to player 4, the medic. Player 4 is going to treat disease in New York for 1 action. Move twice to Essen, and then treat in Essen. So that's the medic's 4 actions. The medic pulls the 2 cards. The medic has event forecast. Event forecast is draw, look at, and rearrange the top 6 cards of the infection deck and put them back on top. That's a nice card. And then he's got another blue, Milan. So let me review what the medic has. The medic has 2 blues, a Madrid and a Milan, 1 red, a Bangkok, and 2 yellows, Khartoum and Lagos. And the medic has the event forecast, which he can play at any time. It's not an action. He can draw and look at the top 6 cards of the infection deck and put them back on top in any order. So whenever you guys want me to do that, let me know and we can do that. I'll pause right now. Do you guys think you want to do that right now? Can you hear the discussion?
Well, it'd be nice if I had some headphones.
That's what we're missing. Yeah, that's the thing we're missing.
I have headphones at the house.
So did I.
I have headphones in my pocket.
All right, so I'm going to move on to player one, the researcher, Nick and Romance. If you guys want me to actually play that card, I can play it at any time, the forecast card. So, but we're going to move on to their turn and see what you guys want to do. Researcher has 3 cards: red Sydney, blue San Francisco, and the yellow Kinshasa.
Okay. Player one says they don't want to use the forecast yet.
Okay, fair enough. We're not using the forecast yet. I agree with that.
Move to Atlanta, please.
So, 2 actions to move to Atlanta.
Give scientist a yellow.
Give scientist the Kinshasa yellow card. So she's got 3 yellow cards now. Good move.
And treat.
And we're going to treat 1 disease. All right. Good move. Like that one. All right. Now we're pulling player one's cards. Moscow, black card. And Tokyo, red card. So right now, researcher player one has two red cards. Sydney and Tokyo. A blue San Francisco. And a black Moscow. All right, now we infect cities. Atlanta is getting 1 blue cube. And Moscow is getting 1 black cube. All right, we're going to move on to player two's turn now. So as a reminder, player two's got three city cards: a red Manila, a blue Washington, and a black Baghdad, and also has the event Resilient Population card.
They're telling me they're talking in the chat.
Yep. So I tell you what, why don't we? I know Ian was worried about the feedback, but let's bring the chat over and see if it actually gives us that feedback. You bring it over, John? We'll just see. If it causes feedback, I think the table talk would be great to listen to.
You're talking about bring this over.
I don't think it's going to cause a problem because there's a minute or two lag.
Yeah, so we're gonna.
Okay, so, discard.
Baghdad doesn't go straight to Moscow, though. Moscow doesn't need attention.
Yeah, so, discard Baghdad to take me to Moscow.
Okay, so we're gonna do discard Baghdad to fly to Moscow.
What is he saying?
He was trying to talk to Bill to get him a chat system set up here.
All right,
Or
so
John.
we're flying to Moscow with the
That's the table.
operations expert.
Okay. So, discard Baghdad to take me to Moscow.
Oh, wow.
Okay, he can hear us now. Awesome.
So there is
Good
a
job,
feedback,
John.
but it's like a minute.
Where? Just trying to talk to Bill to get him a chat system set up. Flying to Moscow. I want to cure one in Moscow.
All right, curing one in Moscow.
And then build a research station.
Or you can cure both in Moscow even if you want.
1, 2,
Are there 2 there? I can't tell.
There are 2, yes.
Oh, yeah. Good job, John.
It's your second in Moscow. Build a research station in Moscow.
All right, we're curing the second, and then we're gonna build a research station in Moscow.
That's
They
good.
don't think they're
All right. Next, we're gonna do the 2 cards for the operations expert. We got the Lima, which is a yellow. And we've got the Santiago, which is also a yellow. And now we're going to do the infect cities step. Montreal is getting back to Montreal, and then Taipei is getting a red.
Okay.
All right. So now moving on to player 3, research scientist. Any thoughts on what we ought to be doing with the research scientist? So I'm thinking it'd be nice to get another yellow into the scientist's hands.
You have 3 of one color.
Yeah, she has 3.
Yes, I have Lima and Santiago.
I need one more yellow.
The scientist needs 1 more yellow.
The medic also has 2 yellows.
You take when you're not in that city? Dang.
What I could do is I could so I have an idea. I'm gonna move my scientist.
Right.
Medic can't give away yellows unless they're in, on the city.
Yeah, the medic's not in.
Yeah, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cure 2 in Atlanta. We're gonna go to Miami.
Scientist is already on Atlanta.
So I could move down there as an option.
No, he should move up one, treat it, move back down to Atlanta, treat 2. Because it should be easy for us to go 1, 2 to
He's doing pretty much that.
Yeah, so we'll do that. So that's 1, 2, 3 actions. I don't know how to get. I could head down towards Lagos. I'm in Miami.
Player 1 is asking for them to end their turn in Atlanta.
Okay. Okay, so I will move back up to Atlanta then and end my turn.
So that the medic can end up in the research center there as well.
Okay, so that's what we'll do. I'm pulling 2 cards. Oh, we got another epidemic. So we got an epidemic. Pulling the bottom, moving this up. Pulling the bottom card. Kolkata gets 3.
It's fine. Oh, bloody heck.
And then we're shuffling. Not very many cards in this intensify step.
But we're safe right now, Steve.
And then I got one more card. So we got a blue card. Chicago is the other card that the scientist has. Now we're doing the Infect City step. Atlanta.
Oh wait, stop. Hey, Elena, you might want to move. You might want to use your card.
And Moscow.
Because it touches 2 other cities that have disease streaks already in it.
Alright, that ends the research scientist's turn. Sorry, the scientist's turn. Moving to the medic. Do we want to move the medic to Atlanta? Is that the idea?
Yes, because the medic can take all the cards.
Atlanta gets another disease cube again? Dang.
So we're moving the medic. 1 action.
Well, we're okay.
2, 3, 4. The medic gets 2 cards. Government grant.
Research scientist now, Rob?
So this allows add 1 research station to any city.
Moving the medic to Atlanta or to...
And Istanbul.
No, the medic should, now that we have those blacks down there, the medic should go straight to the black and just get rid of all of those blacks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Too late.
Okay. Sorry about the lag in the discussion, but this is what we've done so far.
Okay, player 1 wants to know how many cards the research scientists have now.
Yeah, let me finish the medic's turn, and then we'll go through that. So Taipei is getting a cube, and San Francisco is getting a cube. All right, now what's the question?
What
Apparently when I
cards
Google
does this
government
research
grant
scientist have now?
pandemic, it brings up a lot of things about COVID-19.
Okay, so the researcher has Tokyo and Sydney, both red cards. A blue card, San Francisco, and a black Moscow card. It is now player 1's turn.
Well, this works out. I'm glad we did.
cat's acting up.
Keep track, right? Does Romantic have one? Terry didn't give those to us. See your notes.
Can we take?
Oh, you might be right.
Ooh, good
Take-
call.
One yellow from the medic and give it to the scientist.
Okay, so we're taking 1 yellow from the medic. I guess that's the researcher's special ability.
One turn is take, one turn is give.
Yep. And then give 1 to the scientist. I took Lagos if you're
The black card.
all right. That's 2 actions, 2 more actions.
Where's the lead? We need to do the center, Terry.
I just sent him a message.
Or we should treat. Or treat.
Wait a second. Can you? What else was? It's black, blue, red. Science is having 4 yellow, 1 red, 1 blue. And 2 yellow.
Let's take a blue.
Take a blue.
Take a blue.
Take a blue because it's sciences.
So we're taking a blue, doing the same action, just taking a blue card. I've got Milan. We're moving the Milan card.
Does that make sense, Elena?
I'm working with that. That's good.
Okay.
So right now, that at the end of the researcher's turn, what we have is the scientist has 4 yellows
I could go to Atlanta and give one of my
and
yellows to
3
science
blues.
and 5.
They don't need 5 scientists only needs 4 here.
All right, to wrap up player 1's turn, the researcher, we're going to flip over 2 cards. London is a blue card,
I mean, I also have a blue card I could give to them.
and Atlanta, which is a blue card.
You have to be in that specific.
So the researcher is ending her turn with a total of 6 cards, so she's good. She doesn't need to discard anything. So then we go to the infect cities. Kolkata. So we have our first outbreak. I cube in Kolkata because it already has 3 cubes. So we've got outbreak number 1,
Give them blue.
and we are going to spread the black disease to Delhi, Chennai,
Okay, right.
Bangkok, and Hong
Now
Kong.
I see where I was falling down on that. Thank you.
All right. Second card is Delhi. So we have again an outbreak.
No!
No.
We've got, I can't put a cube in Delhi.
We die.
So we go to Tehran, Karachi, Miami, Chennai, and then I guess I go back to put it into Kolkata and I can't. But I don't think you do that bouncing back and forth thing. So that ends the 2 epidemics.
Ready? When it's his turn, can walk through all
Okay.
the blacks and get rid of them.
So we are now going to player 2's turn, which is the operations expert.
No offense, but it's Alana.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was spelled. I thought it was actually pronounced like we were originally saying Alana. Dang it.
No, it's okay.
Be sure nice to have that 1 quiet night card, but we don't have that
Alana.
yet.
Yes.
All right, player 2, it's your turn. What are your actions?
It's usually like this way, not
Yeah.
you. You're up.
Okay, so this is what I'm doing.
No, you know what's good? You can do whatever you want because at this point, if you took care of the feds, then the medic can take care of those flags. As soon as the medic just goes through them, he gets rid of all those flags. Because of his special role and the fact that he's sharing flag.
Wait, we had a double upgrade?
Yep. Let's see what she does. Let's see what it does.
You do have the Manila card. You can fly
Discard
down.
Manila to go there.
Yeah, so we're going to discard Manila. Good move. I was thinking the same thing.
Did we get disconnected? It's quiet.
Fly down there.
Hello?
No, we're still there.
So I actually don't know that you need to discard the Manila card because you can always move between research stations in a shuttle flight. So I mean you can move from research station to research station without discarding the card.
Hello.
So what's the next action? So you're flying down to Manila.
Oh, you're gonna get loaded there. I'm sorry. So I can be
I'm sure we've met you, right?
I have really cool hair. She's the red hair. No, I am. No, that's Sam.
All right, so we discarded Manila, flew to Manila. What's the next move?
They're not discarding Manila. They're just going from research station to
Oh,
research
okay, so
station.
they're just flying from research station to research station. Now what?
Move up to the one with 3 cubes.
Okay, so we're moving up to Bangkok. And I'm assuming you're going there to treat.
Our conversation like 2 minutes later.
I would recommend a black and a red.
Let's try go. Just
Cure 2.
Okay, so I cured 2 there with a black and a red because we're getting low on black cubes. That ends the researcher's turn. So we pulled a black Tehran and a yellow Los Angeles.
she can hear us, but he can hear her.
And then we go to the Infect
Can you
Cities.
hear me now?
Yes.
Infect Cities, we got a yellow in Lagos.
I knew that would work both times.
They got that now has 3. And Montreal. All right, that wraps up the operations expert's turn. Sorry. Moving on to player 3, the scientist is going to simply turn in the yellows,
Where do you work?
and so now we have the yellow cure.
Shush. Been there 20 years.
What? You sound so much younger.
Bless you, child.
And I'm going to actually share knowledge with the researcher, since we're both in
45
Atlanta,
years old.
using the researcher's special ability.
Bless you.
A player who shares knowledge with you, the researcher, on their turn can take any one of your city cards. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Atlanta card.
When was your first one to Atlanta?
So that's for the second action. I'm sharing knowledge.
Did she leave again?
And now I can turn in the 4 blue cards
Yes, the first one was to
to get the blue cure.
Yeah, Jillian knows me.
So that was a total of 3 actions. Let's see. The last thing we need to do is get red. I'm thinking of just curing and ending my turn there, even though I've got one more turn, because I think it would be good to get red going, and I don't want to use the red card. So the end of the scientist's turn, we got a blue Paris card and a yellow Johannesburg card. And then for Infect Cities, we got a New York.
I'm sorry.
And we got a Buenos Aires. Alright, that ends the scientist's turn. Now, as I understood it in the table talk, what they wanted us to do with the medic is to try and get into the black area over here where we've got a lot of disease. And because we have the black cure, we can kind of pretty much go through there and clear things out. So I'm looking at the black and how I can fly there. Trying to decide whether I can go to Moscow or to Ho Chi Minh. I think what we're going to do,
Yeah, you're smart.
I'm going to do I think it's called a charter flight from one research station to the other for one action. Clear. So that's 2. That's 2. And then 3. And then 4. So I think I did that right if I kept track of my moves. 1 to the fly, and then 2, 3, and
Research the
4.
Moscow.
Research station. Okay, so he's in Moscow. Moskva.
Moscow? Is that how it's said?
In Russian, yes.
How many languages do you know?
Wrapping up the medic's turn.
Solidly.
Uh-oh. We've got another epidemic.
I know she know how to pronounce other names.
The first thing we do is we increase the infection rate.
Thank you.
Tehran
2
now
years of Russian, 4 years of French.
gets
the rest of
3.
Japanese.
Did you learn Japanese last semester?
I learned how to say Nihongo wo benkyou shimasu,
And then Essen
which is
gets
I did
1.
my Japanese homework last night.
Jakarta gets 1.
Epidemic!
And now we're going 3 cards. Chicago gets
yeah,
1.
Yeah. Use the event card.
Use event cards?
Please, we need to use it at my
They want to use the event cards?
Which event card do they want to use?
My resilient population would work well for that.
Yes.
Yes, use my resilient population.
Okay, which card do you want to remove from the... She wants to use...
We're safe. We're okay. Jeez. It's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late now. We're going to move on.
Yes, I know.
The lag is a little bit troublesome. We'll try and see if we can figure that out next time. All right, so that ends the medic's turn.
Top high.
We're moving on to player 1.
Because that card hasn't been drawn yet. Tap high.
Pay?
Tap pen. Yes.
Yeah, we've got a couple of cities. Let's just review real quick. We've got a couple of cities that could be disastrous. So we've got Tehran. We've got Taipei, which I don't think that's been pulled yet. Jakarta and Lagos all have 3 cubes. We need to get the red cure to win the game. The researcher currently has 2 red cards.
They want to know who else has red cards.
Okay, so the researcher has Tokyo and Sydney. The operations expert has 1 red card, Manila. Scientist has Shanghai.
I have Manila, which is red.
And the medic has Bangkok.
What else do we have?
Researcher has Tokyo and Sydney.
Alright, we have
Scientist has Shanghai.
Getting down to the wire here. It's a little nerve-wracking.
Okay. So, we have the most.
give a buck to scientists as 2 action.
Yeah, you can give 2 to the scientist. That's why I went back there.
We're in Atlanta.
We're in Atlanta. Oh, we are with the scientists right now.
Give a buck to the scientists.
So then they'd have 3.
And then operations expert can fly.
I can fly in from the other research station.
It's gonna take too long.
Yeah, well, but maybe it's strong.
How do we get back to the other research centers and scientists? So 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to get right back to the scientists.
Where do you want to go?
I want to go to 3.
Want to go to me?
1, 2, 3, 4. We wouldn't be able to get back to the scientists.
We wouldn't?
1 to fly. 1 to go there. 1 to
Gosh.
We can give both cards to the scientist. We have to give both cards.
No, it will work if
You take the scientist card.
We could take the scientist's card. Or could
Then have us get to you. Yeah, because you can either give or take.
yeah. But then it's a free action. I'm trying to figure out how we can do it in the next 4 turn. So if we
You can sequence a disease as a free action while you're there.
right, there's no way I'll be able to get all 5 cards in this 1 turn.
I would say that if you're worried about
To me.
if you're worried about the
Wait,
the infections, reminder the medic has the forecast card, and we can sequence the next 6 cards.
what
Dim-
card do you have?
I have Manila.
Where's Manila?
Philippines, yeah.
That would be an action, right?
I think we should give both cards to the scientist.
And then
We can sequence the next 6 cards.
Yes, let's do that. We need to do that.
Okay, so we're gonna play the medic's forecast card,
Yes.
and I'm gonna sequence these based on so the next 6 cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We want to see what the next 6 are.
All right, so we've got Bangkok. Bangkok currently only has 1 cube. That's where the
Yeah.
researcher is. Osaka
It is an epidemic.
also has 1.
Pause.
Los Angeles over here also only has 1. Beijing is currently 1 card right here, 1 cube rather. Sao Paulo is also 1, and Riyadh is also 1.
Where
So
I'm at.
so the next 6 cards are all 1 card,
Okay, that's
1
fair.
cube cards. I'm going to suggest, because we have an advantage in black and yellow, that we have those come up first, and then we'll have the red cards come up after. Now only 2 turns now to get through those 6 cards.
And we need to give the red to the scientists.
I give your red to the scientist,
And then when
and then I can get over to the scientist and give my red there. Yeah.
well, you would have to give it to me.
No, she would have to give the red to Manila because he has Manila. So she can move to Manila. The scientist can fly down to Manila and the card here.
She has to be the research center.
What?
Sorry, this was the research center.
Right.
So I have to finish that.
Okay.
I know. I have to finish it. But give the science. I agree with him. That's what I'm trying to get at. We give it to the scientist, but we stay with somehow we can land in that research center. She flies when it's her turn. She's here too. She goes to Ho Chi Minh City, takes to us, gives us her card because
The scientist can take it.
the scientist can take that card from her.
Give 2 to scientists and stay there.
Okay, so the plan, as I understand it, is we're going to take the research is going to take the 2 red cards they have,
I don't have to. I mean,
and
just-
for each action, going to give a card to the scientist. That will leave the scientist with 3 reds.
Yeah.
What are the other 2 actions that the researcher wants to take?
They're saying, do they have to take all 4?
No, they don't have to take all 4.
I think they just want to stay.
Okay. So it looks like the researcher is just going to stay there at Atlanta. I'm pulling the next 2 cards. We've got a yellow Mexico City. And we've got a red Taipei. Now we're pulling the 3 infection cards.
Okay.
Riyadh's getting a cube. Sao Paulo's getting 1 cube. And Los Angeles is getting 1 cube. All right. Now we're moving on to player 2.
Okay. No, I'm moving. Oh, okay. We got the infection cards. Here we go. Right, we know that.
But we just got a red card in our hand, so we don't even have to call.
The card.
But I can. I mean, I
Yeah.
go 1 to the research station and go research station to research station,
Yeah, now that the researcher has a red card,
and I can just hand it to him. Right?
operations expert may not need to go to Atlanta.
We could have Jakarta explode or Taipei. That's my only question. If there's a chance of those exploding, I think we should take care of one of those 2 and remove the other one with the Brazilian bomb. But or do something like that. But otherwise, just stick with the card plan if you're gonna do that plan.
Let's do the card plan. I like that.
All right, so what's the plan?
Yeah, I'm still gonna go to Atlanta.
Do it. Do it. You want to do it. You want to
Okay.
do it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go south
To Ho Chi Minh City,
research station.
and then fly to Atlanta.
Ho Chi Minh, I think.
That's 2 actions.
We want.
Oh, from
Yeah.
and
Yep.
and hand my red Manila card to
Handing the red manila card.
medic, right? Is
Yep.
it medic or the scientist?
You got to give it to the researcher.
You'd have to give it to us because you can't give it directly to the scientist.
Why the researcher?
Oh, right. Okay. I have a
thought
card
you wanted to give it to the scientist.
And you want the researcher?
Yes.
Okay.
So 1 more action, if you want to take it.
But the researcher's not there.
Researcher's right there.
You gotta give it to the research.
Yes.
Wait, what if she was just there?
about 25. We have about 2,500 employees there.
All right. Any other actions from the operations expert?
10 credits.
Stay there.
Okay, so that she's ending her turn there. We've got Montreal is a blue card, and Jakarta, a red card. All right. Now we're moving to the Infect City step. We know we're safe here because we set those. So 1 in Bangkok,
No more actions.
1 in Osaka, and 1 in Beijing.
Okay.
I know where Beijing. There it is. Okay.
Nice.
So, moving on to the scientist. The scientist can now take an action to share knowledge with the researcher and grab a red card. That gives the scientist 4 cards. The four cards will allow the scientist to go ahead and do the research to find the red cure. And that pretty much wraps up the game. We could play the scientist turnout with Beijing, Kolkata, and then the next 3 cards just to see what happens. So Tokyo and Johannesburg and Chennai. So no big explosions of disease there. And that pretty much wraps up the game. Congratulations to you guys. You just cured the world, or you found you hadn't cured everything, but you found the 4 cures to the 4 diseases that were threatening the world. That's the victory conditions for the game. We don't need to clear all the cubes. You guys did a great job. A couple of key things that we learned here tonight is next time we do this, we're gonna do a little bit better with the. We're gonna do a little bit better with the
The first level.
chat. I'd like to get the table talk going. There's some feedback and some delay that we need to work through. So I think we'll do better that time. We'll pick another game. I don't know if we'll do a co-op game. Maybe if you can give us your suggestions. There's one of my favorites is Forbidden Desert. We could do co-op. We could do any of the the games where we don't need to hide cards from each other, where we can share knowledge would be good. But yeah, please post your comments on the YouTube video, what you liked, what you didn't like, any suggestions for future games on how we can do this. This is for your entertainment, to keep you at home and yet still engaged with the community and playing games. So I want to thank everybody who participated. We got a little credit slide that we're going to throw up here. I want to really thank Ian Mattis, who helped us pull all this together, and the staff at the cafe. We've actually been working a lot of hours here trying to pull this together, write the kind of the game mechanics and the script up. We did also just post a blog article on our webpage about top 5 games we recommend you play when you're practicing social distancing. So go ahead and take a look at that, provide comments. I do want to talk a little bit more about the Discord channel. We've got a lot of stuff going on at the Discord channel. Last night we played, 4 players played Magic the Gathering through Arena. They had a good time. We paired up, winners played winners, and then we moved on and we played a couple of rounds of that. Then we moved, also last night we had our first D&D on Discord. We had Chris Hare run his Curse of Strahd campaign through Discord. A lot of theater of the mind. I popped in and listened. Really well done event last night. And then again today, 2 o'clock, Chris ran another D&D campaign, a one-off. We actually had 4 players. We learned some more. It's progressing. So feel free to drop in and listen to those. We'll continue to post all of these events on Facebook and in the Discord. So you can pop in and out and listen as you have time or inclination to do that. So thank you, everybody. We're signing out here tonight. Thank you for all your playing efforts. John's still not sure that we're safe.